Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the time and opportunity. I'm Diana Fetu Awalia from Sultan Kota University. Today, I would like to present my preliminary research. I will discuss bridging bureaucracy and intellectual futures, rethinking academic autonomy and knowledge production in Indonesian higher education. Let's explore how bureaucracy, education systems, and collaboration frameworks shape the intellectual future of our universities. Indonesian higher education faces complex challenges in maintaining academic autonomy and intellectual integrity. Despite decentralization policies, universities are often constrained by bureaucratic dependence, limited research funding, and heavy teaching workloads. The study examines systemic barriers, institutional dynamics, and proposes pathways to create a more independent, policy-relevant academic environment. Some key concepts in this research include academic autonomy, bureaucracy, higher education reform, knowledge production, and public policy. This will guide us our discussion on how universities can strengthen intellectual freedom and societal impact. Higher education in Indonesia is at the pivotal moment as the country seeks to become a knowledge-based economy. Universities must be more than producers of graduates. They must generate critical thought, innovation, and policy insight. However, the tension between academic autonomy and bureaucratic control remains. Reforms like decentralization, performance-based funding, and internationalization have not fully resolved this, leaving universities still dependent on administrative oversight. Despite reforms, three major challenges persist. First, bureaucratic and policy barrier limit academic freedom and disincentive innovation. Second, educational system limitation include rigid curricula, inequality of access, and inadequate infrastructure. Third, collaboration frameworks are often informal, personalistic, or inconsistent. Together, these issues prevent universities from fully contributing to national development and social transformation. This study has four main objectives. First, identify bureaucratic and governance barriers affecting academic freedom. Second, examine educational and infrastructural challenges. Third, explore collaboration dynamics between academia, government, and industry. Fourth, propose strategic reform to enhance academic integrity and foster innovation, particularly in agriculture and public policy. The research addresses four questions. What structural and bureaucratic constraints affect academic autonomy? How do educational and cultural factors influence research independence? How can university, government, industry collaboration be improved? How can architecture and public policy provide insight for interdisciplinary reforms? This study uses critical theory to understand knowledge and power in academia, Habermas communicative action theory, and the triple helix model, linking universities, industries, and government guide the analysis. Universities are not isolated, they are public actors mediating between the state, market, and society. Academic autonomy, therefore, is about the capacity to engage critically, creatively, and ethically with public life. We use qualitative descriptive approach through literature review. Sources include journal, policy document, and institutional reports from 2015 to 2025. Themes such as bureaucracy, educational inequality, and collaboration were analyzed using Habermas and triple helix framework. This approach provides a holistic understanding of structural and cultural constraints on academic freedom in Indonesia. First, bureaucratic and policy barrier significantly constrain academic freedom. Administrative compliance is often prioritized over research and creativity. Research funding is limited, inconsistent, or tied to political influence, discouraging early career researchers and regional institutions. To address this, governance must shift toward transparency, academic-led decision-making, and merit-based research funding. Second, educational system challenges include fragmented curricula, inequality of access, and limited infrastructure. Urban students often have far more resources than their counterparts in peripheral regions, deepening the academic divide. Holistic reform are needed, integrating critical wisdom, fostering interdisciplinary collaboration, and improving digital literacy and infrastructure. That cooperation between academia, government, and industry is often personalistic rather than institutional. Universities tend to take a passive role, waiting for external engagement instead of proactively shaping innovation ecosystem. Structural frameworks like research consortium, innovation hubs, and policy labs can help align collaboration with national development agendas while maintaining intellectual independence. Despite these challenges, opportunities for reform exist. Redefine academic autonomy to protect scholarly independence, reorient incentives to reward research impact and innovation, invest in sustainable research ecosystem beyond geocentric institutions, integrate research into policymaking via advisory boards and think tanks, foster a culture of inquiry through ethics, critical discourse, and interdisciplinary experimentation. These reforms can transform universities into engines of societal innovation. These reforms are particularly critical for architecture and urban policy, bureaucracy, sustainable urban design, and context-sensitive planning. Autonomous universities working alongside policymakers can co-create innovative, adaptive, and inclusive urban solutions, bridging theory, research, and practice. In conclusion, Indonesian academia is at a crossroads. Bureaucratic silos, policy fragmentation, and educational inequality threaten intellectual life through deliberate reforms emphasizing autonomy, inclusivity, and proactive collaboration. Universities can reclaim their role as custodian of critical thought and drivers of societal transformation. The challenge ahead is not only administrative, it is cultural, fostering an ecosystem where knowledge serves both truth and the public good. Thank you very much. I would like to hear your feedback.